Call the spaceships to Davenport. Prepare for a div anarchy and interface with a couch in space. It's space couch time. We're back on a regular schedule. It's kind of amazing. And of course, what is also amazing, besides the grandeur of the cosmos, is our advertisers this week, brought to you by Lagerhawk Records. You're going to want to check out Bitman from England's new release, Pure Chip. It's wonderful. Friends of P, as covered by my friend 8-Bit Panda Strike. It's great. Once Upon a Time by Idaho's Tommy Tantrum. Then you want to check out 8-Bit Panda Strike as remixed by Gasoline and Vertebrate. It's all right. Deadfall, the metal band for Lagerhawk Records, is Almost Dead is great. And of course, Gasoline and Vertebrate's Rage Magus, out now. Also brought to you by Super 7, the coolest toys in all the land. You know, I'm always picking up stuff from them. Here's one I got, which is a Gith Yankee from it's like From the Fiend folio cover. They put out this awesome Gith Yankee action figure, and I'm like, I have to get it now. So you can get that and many other things at super7.com/Space Couch Show is where you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are super duper happy to have for the first time in space a guy who we've kind of crossed paths a while back, but now we're just going to delve into universes beyond. Please welcome Jeff. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Well, you know, space stuff. So welcome to space. Let's get right into it. I have here on the screen Glimmerwake. Tell our audience what this is and why they might want to attend.
You know, I was so careful not to walk in here with a sales pitch.
But I'm asking
you. I don't have
a
sales pitch, which is kind of exciting.
That's all right. But this is, in effect, the Steampunk Con in New York City.
It is a lovely steampunk night. It is just 5 or 6 hours.
Oh, it's just
around 2010.
Okay.
But it's a sort of weird thing where way back in 2010 we said, hey, people ought to do a night for steampunk, like the way they do goth nights, right? This would make perfect sense. Obviously, you should have people playing Cup of Brown Joy exactly the same way they play Bela Lugosi's Dead, you know? Basically the same kind of art, right?
Word.
Maybe not exactly the same kind of art, but it was a good idea. For some reason, this just didn't catch on the same way goth did, which is what it is. But if we're going to bring that back, it's sort of the idea of doing a steampunk goth night.
Okay, awesome. So this isn't a one-off. This is like a reoccurring night?
Yes, we probably can't do it every month the way
the
goth nights of my youth happened, but yeah, every couple of months.
Oh, sick. Okay, cool. And where should people is the Facebook page like the best source of truth for where people should find out about Glimmerwake stuff?
They could just check for the Anachronism New York City if they want, or just Steampunk event New York City.
And Anachronism New York City, is that like your umbrella company or something like that?
That is the brand.
It's the brand. Okay.
There is one. That is the brand for the hypothetical steampunk night.
Okay.
This event has happened at, let's see, Element, Bank, Limelight, Avalon, but still, and Webster Hall. It's happened at some really amazing, well, among other things, some really amazing goth venues where I could never, ever have gotten the clout to do these things as goth nights. Like, they're such legendary goth venues. But as steampunk nights, I've had the really good fortune to actually be able to do shows there. And it's kind of nifty to have this sort of weird little subculture get me into this other, much larger, much more legendary weird subculture.
Okay, cool. So, well, you're don't worry, but your video stalled on my end, but that kicks back in. All right, cool. We sometimes hit these little eddies of time out here floating through space, so that tends to happen. I've seen that episode of Star Trek 1,000 times. Steampunk was like big in my world a while back. Is it coming back, or has it always been a thing? Like, because I was like, wow, steampunk. I was like, in the same breath as like electro clash for things that may have come and were gone. But what's the state of steampunk now?
Well, due to a bunch of um, unfortunate things that happened in 2018, I'm not a part of any large, say, popular steampunk community. And again, there's
Okay.
nothing wrong with such a thing, but I happen not to be part of such a thing.
Okay.
I know a lot about what it used to be like.
Uh huh.
So I'm sort of in a position of creating steampunk events for a whole bunch of people who are not part of this particular
Oh, okay.
pop
Cool.
were influenced by it, but have always wanted to go to a steampunk event.
Oh,
So the
awesome.
answer
Okay.
is, I don't know. What would you like to be like? This is kind of an open.
Okay, awesome. All right,
You know?
cool. Get in on level one here out there
Yeah,
on
exactly.
Earth. Um, but you'll have more than 4 hit points. It's not first edition D&D rules. Um, so, speaking of sort of geekery things, like I know you primarily through the Wicked Fair days, and now with this recurring night. Like, if somebody out there in on Earth or terra firma, or I guess wherever, I'm assuming Earth, but I didn't mean to be prejudiced. If you're watching from Venus or something, where if somebody's looking to start like a fan run con, like what are some good initial steps, do you think?
Well, I'm afraid that I'm the kind of nerd where it really, really depends on where you want to start. Like,
Okay.
are you looking to start with um, minimum risk, which is
Uh-huh.
a very, very, very honorable thing, like in fan cons. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, fan conventions are not necessarily there to make profit. So when you're looking at the most minimal, simple way to run a convention, that
Mm-hmm.
still brings people who want to see these amazing performers, such as, say, yourself,
Ah!
amazing authors, these amazing people whom they idolize, to the actual fans and bring. So if I say a safe way, you could do a very basic panel con, right? All the way up to something that is crazy, like you could do some sort of music festival for really loud performers. I honestly think probably the most difficult thing would be an event that has a music festival for loud performers whose audience really cares about hearing the lyrics. I
Mm.
think that would probably drive me crazy to run. Um,
Okay.
Lyrics are the hardest thing to get at a music festival.
Yeah.
If you have,
Yeah.
it's really hard to get those coming through.
It is. It is. It is sort of a tricky. I'm glad you brought that up. It's always sort of because I came mostly from comedy, but like also industrial music. So I want the beats to super blast, but like I also want people to hear like the amazing pun I think I made. Right. So like it's a tricky balance. So figure out what you want to do first, and then kind of go from there, kind of on that trajectory. Like, is there any trick, I want to say, to doing a con on a budget?
Oh, sure. There's lots of them. Um, the most basic one I think is that I always like finding a venue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, once you know, once you know how your venue is structured in terms of how or if it wants to be paid, you have a lot of other things that sort of fall into place. Like
Okay.
I started out when I was in college because if you ran a student group in college, you could get use of um, certain kinds of venues for free, which was an amazing advantage.
Mm,
Still is an amazing advantage. Um, whereas right now, if I wanted to rent those same venues, I would have to pay a great deal of money. I'd have to
right.
put down a lot of insurance, and people would wonder why I was doing things at a college instead of it. I don't know. Yes, exactly. It's a completely different situation.
Mm-hmm. All right. Cool. So, um, sort of things tend to flow down from venue world, and if you're at in college and have access to a space, you may save a great deal of money as I burp into the mic. Like a professional, no rules in space. Um, so, is there any, if someone was like doing this for the first time, like, I have been to, let's say, having been to a number of fan run cons, I've been to some that are wonderfully run, like those by our guest here, and some less than, let's say. Uh, is there any sort of sign that perhaps you've bitten off more than you can chew? Like if it's coming together and you're like, I don't know if I've done this right. Like, is there a good indicator that things might be spiraling out?
Well, one of the better indicators, and I think this is probably true for any promoter, um, but one of the better indicators that a promoter has bitten off more than they can chew is if they have someone really, really large in their particular area, but they
Yeah.
don't seem to have a really good plan around that person. Like
Okay.
they have, I can't think of someone. They have someone who's really big in that industry.
Right.
They have someone really big in the romantic dragon literature industry. They have the number
Okay.
one person there, but then they don't really have any interesting panels around them. They don't talk. They're very vague about all the details. Their weird misspellings. You have a sense that perhaps they secured that person with like $500. That person needs, say, $50,000, and you're going to find out like a week before the event that unfortunately that person can't make the event, but the event is still on. So please don't ask for refunds. That's
Okay.
that
That
seriously shows
is
a modern problem.
very good stuff. Very gold, Jeff. Thank you. So take care of your guests so they don't quit a week before
Yes.
the event. Um, good stuff. Well, speaking of events, and you sort of touched on it, but like I know you from Wicked Fair in New Jersey, which eventually became Dark Forest Fest today. How did you get started in this weird world of ring leadership?
Oh, the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, nice, man. Okay.
I was in college. A friend of mine, who is unfortunately passed now, but a friend of mine wanted to do the Rocky Horror. Well, she was part of a Rocky Horror cast, and at the time, that particular cast was a little bit erratic. But she was
Okay.
hanging in there so she could do their
Shocker.
Halloween show. Then they never picked her up. Then I'm like, this is crazy. So after I didn't get picked up, nobody got picked up from that cast. Apparently, the show got canceled. It was terrible.
Oh
And I'm
no.
like, I could do better than this. I will
Okay.
put on a Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's got to be easy. And, you know, that's what I found since then. Promoting is just the easiest thing to do. Basically, you
Okay.
just get interested in something, then you sort of say, hey, that should happen, and then you just take a nap. That's
That's
basically
I love it. Just
yeah.
somebody's got to make this happen. All right, let's just make it happen. That's so cool to me because everybody's like there should be a like fill in the blank and then just never do it right, but like you
Yes.
make it happen, and then maybe you can at home. You just gotta like start from somewhere and don't get crazy with the venue or do if you want, and do whatever you want. So we can edit this out if you want, but much like myself, you are not a person immune to controversy. We can toss out anything here. I'm not really into it, but it just seems to be sort of a part of your aura, if you will. Like, do you want to speak to like one of the things I heard was charging people to go to your wedding reception?
I mean, in general, I for real have an aggressive strategy of what they call higher ground marketing, which is
Okay,
a really basic strategy of perpetually just going up to a higher ground.
okay,
I can never, mostly people don't come to me with the actual allegations, but this is one of my favorite allegations, so I'd love to jump on this one.
all right, cool,
For
man.
real, charging people for my wedding, really? Is that the allegation? You have to be kidding.
Yeah, that's like that's one I read, man. Like
So,
which I don't believe me. I was like there's got
oh
to be
no,
more
no,
here.
it's that sort of happened.
Okay.
So, um, a business partner of mine at the time was supposed to be running a summer camp for gifted kids, and because projects are difficult, that kept getting squished smaller and smaller and
Sure.
smaller. And finally, I got a hotel that I was doing a lot of business with and that I was doing a lot of events with to let us run a one weekend thing where I would run, I would have my wedding like a sort of an afternoon event,
Hmm.
and instead of asking people for wedding presents, we would sell tickets, and those tickets would all go towards paying for the food, and the food would pay for the space all weekend so they could run the camp.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the camp part doesn't get a lot of publicity because it
How
never
about
happened,
that?
of course.
Okay.
Yeah, they never managed to actually pull off that camp thing.
Okay.
Oops. But the wedding did happen, and without name dropping, we had a bunch of really amazing performers. We had some really great shows. The food was lovely. I think it was worth the ticket price, but yes, we did indeed charge for it. But it's not like how in the world do people think I charged to get into my wedding? Do they think I held a gun to people's heads and said,
Uh,
um, you know, come to my wedding or pay me money for it? Like, how in the world do they think that that actually
right.
happened?
To say nothing of do this instead of presents, which I would have preferred because now I don't have to go find a present. Like,
Yeah,
there's always more. Sorry, I have a lot of energy around this
nothing wrong with that.
to be sure, but it's like just because somebody put it on Fakakta Facebook doesn't make it canon. People, there's always. Oh well, thank you for the horrible crime of wanting to help gifted kids, you asshole. So I appreciate that. I also appreciate the physics. So we can't do a lightning round because lightning is exceedingly rare in space. But we can do a radiation round, which is basically a lightning round. But I didn't want to break the reality because I'm totally on a couch in space. So no wrong answers. Say whatever you want. Okay, Deep Space Nine, Babylon 5, Stargate Atlantis, or Farscape.
Um, Babylon 5, but mostly because it's the only one of them I've actually seen all the way through.
Fantastic. That is the right answer. Sorry, there was
Oh,
for
good.
that. I said there is no right answer, but that is my favorite too. Hell yeah, Babylon 5 guy. I dig it. I want. We'll get into Babylon 5 talk maybe afterwards. I'll also be here for hours. Question 2. Difficulty increases. Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, or Creature from the Black Lagoon?
Oh, gosh. Um, let's go with Wolfman only because apparently we just joined forces with a werewolf clan in New York City,
Oh,
and apparently it would be more loyal to go with the wolf. So
fantastic.
let's go
I
with it.
dig it. Always with the synergy, this guy. Very strong, very strong. And we'll close with this. What's the coolest fan run con you've attended that you didn't have any, like you just went to, like you didn't have any involvement in it?
Oh man, there have been a bunch.
Yeah.
Um, hmm, gosh. Well, I'm going to say that one of the
Or
Free
one of the
Spirit gatherings
coolest.
that I went to.
Free Spirit, where are those?
I don't know if they're still running. They were in Maryland,
Okay, cool, cool.
and they were a they were a very, I guess, free spirited, pagan, hippie, relaxed event,
Dig
um,
it.
which managed to somehow be a laid back, relaxed, gentle event that was also well organized without any particular chaos. There's one thing I particularly remember about that. It had a two-person security team, and the security team's main job, if anything for real wrong would happen, they would call 911. But otherwise, it was to walk around and say, "Are you feeling safe?" And if not, give people hugs. That was a well-run event.
That's amazing. Ah, I
Yeah,
love it. Well, and for in my experience, a laid back con is based sometimes a euphemism for not well organized. So the fact that it was chill and people walked around offering safety hugs. I dig. So from the top, that was Babylon 5, Wolfman, and the Free Spirit Gatherings,
correct.
erstwhile in Maryland. And then we'll go to the everybody's second favorite feature, hypothetical spectacle. This is where we just sort of get weird and like distill your essence down into like what would Jeff Mach, the sitcom or something like that, be like. And today I wanted to go with it's a tried and true favorite here on Space Couch, but I'm interested. What would Jeff if like the video game be like? If we just like transponded your essence into like video game, like would this be like a real time strategy where you got to do like resource management for the coolest guest for the most efficient expenditure, or would we just go like full steampunk Super Mario Brothers? Like, what would you as a video game be
It would
like? Do you
preferably
think?
be turn-based. It would preferably not be timed exactly. It
Okay,
would be timed in a
cool.
hypothetical sense, but no, it would honestly be. I mean, again, one of the benefits of where I currently am is that pretty much I get to sort of start over because 2018 was rather ridiculous. But with all the
Just
experience that I had before that,
because of like online shit, or no, we don't have to get into it. But
oh, it's
uh,
just when uh, when 2018 became ridiculous,
okay,
I gave up everything in my life, and
sure,
I never really realized that there'd be a chance to come back in any particular way.
okay.
So now I sort of have that knowledge. I don't know. I've never been a great musician, but if I've been an amazing musician and then I stopped, I don't know. I don't. You can't really stop being a musician, right? Um,
People could try to
I.
stop you. I know that for damn sure.
Sorry, I was
No
trying to think
worries.
of a way to go there.
No,
Yeah.
it's all good. It's a great analogy. Like
Um,
it is. It's in you. You know, like you got to keep going. Like
but
I
there's,
totally feel that.
but people, but your circumstances are entirely different when you can when you have these skills and you are using them for yourself and a relatively small group of people, and you have to use your skills partly to convince other people those skills exist,
Mm,
and especially if you're doing something like music or hospitality, use them to make other people happy or affect their emotions the way they want. You have to do something really, really large just for people to recognize that you're capable of doing anything. And if you really want to not just have people recognize, hey, that person's good, but have them say, that person's good, and I like what they're saying, and I want to
hmm
have someone else hear it, you have to do something really, really big, and you have to have kind of a very big plan. And that's well, fun to be perfectly honest. I'm just gonna say it's kind of fun. Once I get
Okay.
past the pain and the anger and the 2 or 3 years where I went completely insane and cursed out all my friends and
Yeah.
was just a terrible person, this has been incredibly, incredibly fun once in a while.
So,
I have to tell you.
wow, this has been possibly the most inspiring hypothetical spectacle we've ever had. The video game would be turn based because it is now your turn once again. Oh, I love it. Cool. And then, well, the other question I have here is what's next for the mighty Jeff Mack. We have Glimmerwake coming up. We're recording this on a Thursday. When is the next one?
Oh, so my next show is in Manhattan. It is in Times Square, Club 1604, and it is the Anachronism of
Woo!
Glimmerwake. And it
Oh,
is
fancy.
yes, it is a you can see it as a gigantic indoor carnival, which it sort of is, and you can see it as a really neat cocktail party, which it sort of is, or something in between. Um,
Okay, man, hot glue those goggles to those top hats now because this is going to be amazing at Times Square. And that's when is that? Sorry, I screwed up there.
oh, that's August 7th. That is a Sunday, August 17th. That's coming up. That's the afternoon, starting about 2, going on until about 9.
Cool. So check out Anachronism NYC for more information. But what you need to know is that August 17th, you want to be in Times Square, decked out in cogs and stuff. And check out Anachronism NYC for more events. What did we learn today? Well, we just talked about this amazing event coming up, and it steampunk is. Uh, I won't say like back because we're not. I didn't think we quantified it like that, but it's back on the table if you want. Level one and entry
Yes, let's
level.
say that.
Yeah, you can choose one spell from the sorcerer's manual. I'm doing D&D jokes like all night today. I
Go
don't know
for it.
why. Um,
Makes it. We are genre fluid, as they say.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll make my Riz check. The venue tends to be sort of the a big expense if you're doing a con on a budget. So see if you can secure that first. Treat your guests well so they don't quit before the show. Started from Rocky Horror beginnings into con extraordinaire now. That's this Pokemon evolution of promotion into now Wakemon. I don't know what your Pokemon name would be. Let's just forget that. We'll edit that out. Didn't charge people to go to his wedding. That's ridiculous. Babylon 5, Wolfman, and the Free Spirits thing. And the wonderful turn. I know we have some developers out in the audience. We're going to make that turn-based video game happen, and there'll definitely be a Manhattan level because our guest is on the level. So we can do like a Jerry Springer final thoughts if you want to toss anything out before we adjourn this episode of This Flying Couch.
You
don't have to. I just sort of sprung that on you.
No, it's okay. There are a lot of people who really regretted being a workaholic, but I'm not one of them.
Yeah, I dig it. I got to have 18 jobs to feel alive. Awesome. I love that you just kind of make it happen. Like, just, that's so cool. That's like, I forgot the biggest takeaway is like, you can, like, if you want something to happen, you can totally do it. So this is Brian for Space, for Jeff, for many things. One of them is Glimmerwake coming up August 17th, saying, call the spaceship to Davenport, prepare for an anarchy, interface with a couch in space, space couch, ow! And then I just let us talk over the, over the end credits. Dude, that was such a good episode. Thank you for being such an open book.